got some things to talk about today in terms of just, nerd shit, usual stuff that I talk about on the pod. And I'm just going to start off by talking about some things that I've been watching, reading, shows that have been coming out, books that I've been reading. And I've got a lot done in terms of like just reading in general. I still have a lot of shows that I still need to watch or I'm currently watching. I still have not finished the Mr. McMahon doc. I restarted it just because it's been a while since I watched it, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a quick reset on this. So I started rewatching it. Dragon Ball Daima came out. The first episode was alright. For the most part, it was just like, hey, do you remember what happened with the Buu Saga? That's it. Also, seemingly, it's not taking place after Super, it's taking place after Z. So I guess it's kind of like a bridge in between, so I'm not expecting much in terms of what's going to, happen. Like, I'm not expecting new transformations. I don't think we're going to get that. I think it's just going to be like a fun action adventure anime, and that'll be it. I think they're going to focus on, like, in terms of continuing the story, like, after Super, I think they're just going to focus on movies, but even then, we don't even know, like, what the next movie is, so we'll see. What else? I've also been watching The Penguin. The next episode comes out, at the time of this recording, it'll come out tomorrow. By the time this video is out, it's probably already out. I've been watching Uzumaki, which I do want to talk about. At least in terms of the drama around it, I don't know, the criticism, actually, is more fitting of a term. So here we have it. So, if you've been watching Uzumaki, or you've at least heard of it in terms of the anime being out, you probably heard a lot of people, expressing their delight over the first episode, but when it came to the second episode, they talked about how disappointed they were in terms of the animation. Because the first episode was great. It looked great, the story was great, and then you get to this one, and like the story is good, but the animation ruins it. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, just watch this. Just like, oh my god, let's restart this. Just look at this. Look at the way they run. It's so bad. Like, this is really bad animation. And you would not believe that this is from the same show. If you saw episode 1, you'd be like, what the fuck? This is such a huge dip. The animation just looks so bad. Ah, God. But an executive producer for the anime came out, and they explained that the quality getting dropped is because they got screwed over during production. The options were A, not finish it, air nothing and call it a loss, B, just finish episode 1 and leave it incomplete, or C, run all 4, warts and all. So yeah, like, I obviously see that, like, B is probably what they went with. They were just like, yeah, we're just gonna finish episode 1 and then we'll just put the rest of them out. Or no, leave it incomplete would just be just not doing it at all, I guess. I think that's what they should have done. If they just would have done that and like given them more time to do the other episodes, I think it would have been better. And also, seemingly C is what they did. Run all 4, warts and all. So it seems like this is only going to be 4 episodes anyways. So it's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to... It depends. If episode 3 is also bad animation quality-wise, I'll probably just drop the show. But, I don't know. I'm going to give it one more chance. I'm not expecting much with the animation. It's just... But God, the animation's just so bad. And this is definitely, a WB issue. And someone comments here, they 100% got screwed over. Top Brass changed studios after episode 1's production, citing animation time and cost. No clue what this means for the rest of the series, but I'm very hopeful. So yeah, they where is it? The animation studio, they changed it. Episode 1, it was Fujiko, and then episode 2, it was Akatsuki. So yeah, they changed it up. I don't know why you want to just stay with the same studio, but yeah, it just seems like they were like, okay, we just need a studio that just rush this because we don't really care. Like, we don't really care about the quality. We just are gonna assume everyone's gonna love and watch it. And a lot of people did watch it, but I don't think they're gonna continue to watch it. But yeah, I don't know. I was going to like just watch the show and then like read the manga because I do have the manga. I just haven't gotten around to reading yet. So I was gonna be like, okay, let's see how well the show did after it's done airing, and then I'll read the manga. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna go to the manga at this point because, of course. But yeah, like episode 1 was so good, and this just flubbed. But moving on. Let's see. I've also been reading I read Absolute Batman #1. I did read DC's All In special last week. It was pretty good. I didn't really care all that much for like the Booster Gold story. I was just like, because before it came out, Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson were just like, okay, this is gonna be like a one shot. One half of the story is gonna be about Superman, the other half of the story is gonna be about Darkseid, and the Superman story was just about Booster Gold. And I just don't really care for Booster Gold. I really don't. It's not that I hate him as a character. It's just that nothing that I've learned about him or ever learned about him makes me interested in him. He's just one of those characters, like, I understand why people like him, but I do not care for him. Like, with that Booster Gold show they're gonna do, the only reason I might check that out is because I like the guy that they cast for it. That guy from, like, Eternals. I forget what his exact name was, but I like him as an actor. Like, I think he's a pretty fun actor, and he's probably the only reason I'm going to check out the show. Let's see what else. But yeah, Absolute Batman was amazing. I'm not going to spoil anything because I really do think that you should read it on your own. Like, it's just so good. I love what they're doing with Absolute Batman, the different directions. It's just, you read it and you're just like, I know Batman. I'll read this. And then you're just like, well, that's different, that's different, that's different. But it's all cool. It's all really cool. And the way that they're like going about the last page reveal, I was not expecting. And honestly, there is a part of me where I was just like, really? Like, really already you're doing this? But at the same time, I was like, the way that they're going to, do this, again, I'm not going to spoil it, the way they're going to do this, the last page reveal, the way that they're going to do it, it does have me interested of how are you going to adapt this into this new universe. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. I also finished both Rorschach and Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1, the new one. So now I'm kind of catching up on Ultimate Spider-Man. I really liked Rorschach. It was really good. A really good like detective story with like themes of conspiracy and influence on people. Really like that. I would definitely check it out. I was a bit on a Tom King kick. I read Gotham City Year 1 and Rorschach, both detective stories. And then I was just like, okay, I gotta read something else. So I was like, you know what? I need to get caught up on Ultimate Spider-Man. I have the first trade paperback. I'll read that and I'll just read the single issues to catch up. But outside of that, that's really it. That's all I've been like in terms of like my personal life. That's just what I've been reading and watching. Now let's just kind of talk about some nerdy stuff that's been happening in the news or just in general. Something I just want to get out of the way first because I don't really plan on talking about it that much. HBO's Lanterns adds Aaron Pierce to his cast as Jon Stewart. I'm not sure if they got the cast Hal Jordan yet, but I've seen this one get talked a lot. There's a lot of controversy surrounding it on Twitter, and I'm just gonna stay out of that because that has nothing to do with me. And if you're watching this, if you look anything like me, or if you're not part of the in-group when it comes to this discussion, I would just stay out of it. It's not about you. Also, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything about this. I don't really even know who this person is all that much. Like, I don't think I've really seen any project he's been in, but I just wanted to mention this. He got cast. I'm excited for Lanterns. I think it's going to be a really good show. I just wanted to mention this because it was getting a lot of traction on Twitter. I just want to say, like, again, if it doesn't concern you, just leave yourself out of it. I don't think it's a discussion that's really going to happen outside of Twitter anyways. And I think it's just best if you don't get yourself involved unless it directly affects you. But now we're going to move on to the second week of NXT on CW. So it was, I don't think it was as eventful as the first week, because the first week they had an NXT Championship match, NXT Women's Championship match. With this one, there was a lot less importance around it, I feel like, but there was still a lot of stuff going on, so we might as well talk about that. So let's just run down some of the matches, and I'll also mention some other stuff that went on in terms of like promos, stuff like that. So the first match of the night was Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Kalani Jordan versus Fatal Influence. It was a pretty good match. Just seeing Bianca, Jade, and Kalani out there was pretty fun. The show opened with Trick and Jey Uso. They opened the show, and they were just kind of exchanging catchphrases. Yeet with that Trick, and then Jade, Bianca, and Kalani came out. Everyone held up their championships, so it was really cool. The match itself was pretty fun, and we'll see where this goes. Bianca and Jade afterwards gave Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson a championship match on SmackDown, which, already happened. And during that, Kevin Owens, interrupted Lash and Jakara's entrance. And that has also been a topic of discussion going on Twitter as well. Again, I'm going to stay out of that because it does not concern me. And in terms of SmackDown, also while we're on SmackDown, they did tease that Motor City Machine Guns will be debuting next week, so I'm really excited about that. Also, apparently Raw was taped this last Monday, and the War Raiders showed up, which is also really cool. Seems like we're finally getting some momentum in the tag team division on both shows. Then we have the North American Championship match. I don't know why this one... I know why, because Randy Orton was obviously in the main event. I feel like this should have been the main event. Tony D'Angelo beat Obafemi in a really good match. I saw some people critique it because D'Angelo beat him via roll-up, but in my opinion, it was still a really good match. I think they're going to run it back. I don't think they're going to get Obafemi away from the North American Championship until like the Iron Survivor, their build-up for Deadline, which will probably be after Halloween Havoc. So I could see them having a rematch at Halloween Havoc, maybe, put a stipulation on it. But all in all, this was a really good match. Their match at, what was the last one? No Mercy was really good too. But this, their whole storyline with Tony leading up to this about it was like a Rocky type build up. Him needing to believe in himself, working back up there, really putting in the work to try to beat Oba. And he did. He outsmarted him, got the roll-up, new North American Championship. I hope he holds it for a pretty long time, at least up until Stand to Deliver, but we'll see. I also hope that they put Channing and Luca in the tag team division now, because I feel like the NXT tag team division needs some more, just needs more activity in there. I mean, there's a reason why the next match after this, the NXT tag team title match, had Axiom and Nathan Frazier versus A-Town Down Under. First of all, they just wanted main roster stars to kind of, put more eyes on the product. Especially since this show was going head to head with Dynamite from AEW. And I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but they destroyed them. I believe the ratings were 900,000 for NXT and were 300,000 for Dynamite. Wasn't looking good, but whatever. As long as the shows are good, I don't really care all that much. I just wanted to mention that. Speaking of something good, the tag team match was really good. Was great. I love the story they were telling on both sides with Axiom and Frazier and Theory and Waller, two teams that always seem to be just 1 second away from turning on one another. After this, I don't... Actually, I think it might have been before this match. Roxanne and Jade came out. They had a promo. Julia came out to confront them because Jade cost Julia her match against Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship. And before anything really happened, Stephanie Van Queer came out, and they both attacked Cora and Roxanne. It seems like we might get a fatal four-way match for the women's title at Halloween Havoc. I think that would probably be best, but we'll just have to see. And then we have the main event, Randy Orton versus Javon Evans. Now, this was a really good match until the botch. Javon Evans botched the RKO that he was supposed to sell from the top rope. They ended up, fixing it anyways. Randy Orton just kind of like picked him up from the canvas and then gave him the RKO. It was still a good match, but, the fact that they didn't hit the cool spot kind of, I don't think it died out. Like, it didn't cause the match to, like, I don't know. I don't think it ruined the match. But I think, it was the only thing that people could really focus on, because everyone was looking for it. Like, okay, we all know that, he's a bouncy boy. He's going to do, a high fly maneuver, and Randy Orton's going to pick him off for the RKO. And he tried to, but Javon Evans just wasn't in the right, position to take it. They tried to do it anyways, but then they fixed it. There was a cool interaction between the two afterwards where Javon was apologizing to Randy, and Randy was just like, hey, kid, you're good. He was like, hey, kid, you're good. Don't worry about it. Very different from, the guy who called Kofi Kingston stupid for botching a move. But whatever. Again, the match itself was pretty good. It's just the ending was a bit but hey, moving on. He's still very new. He's still very green. I think we can give him some leeway. Also, speaking of Javon Evans, he will be in a triple threat number 1 contenders match next week to determine who's going to face Trick at Halloween Havoc. I believe it's him, Ethan Page, and Wesley. I think Wesley's gonna win it. They teased it. I believe they teased it earlier in the show when Jay and Trick were out there too. But it seems like they're teasing that Wesley is going after the title. I don't know if they plan on running back the Zachary Wentz Wesley feud. So who knows? Maybe he'll cost them the match. I think they're kind of done with that. So I can imagine that him and Trick are going to go after one another. Javon Evans will probably be involved in another feud. Afterwards, I think he'll probably just take the pin. And Ethan, I don't know. It does seem like they're teasing that Ethan's probably going to go to the main roster because he was on Raw. And he was like looking for CM Punk because CM Punk gave him the GTS after he lost the NXT title match last week. But who knows? I think they might as well put Ethan Page on the main roster already. But we'll just have to wait and see. After that, there wasn't nothing really after that. But, speaking of Randy Orton as well, going back to Randy Orton, it seems like him and KO are going to feud. Since with Crown Jewel, they're doing champion versus champion. It seems like they're really going to focus on Cody Rhodes and Gunther just like feuding with one another with no other people gunning for their titles. At least that's what it seems like as of now. And they're going to instead move away from Kevin going after Cody and Kevin and Randy having a feud. And I think that is probably best. But I also think the way that the women's champions are doing it also is really good. I like the way that they're handling it, which is basically like they're intertwining the feuds. So Nia is seemingly going to feud with Naomi. But But obviously Nia is going to be facing Liv at Crown Jewel. So what happened on SmackDown is that Naomi came out basically to say that she wants a shot at the title. She got a win over Nia due to, but I'll explain. My brain's a bit jumbled right now. Sorry. So what happened on SmackDown is Naomi came out. Basically, they're setting her up as the next contender. And during their promo against one another with Tiffany there as well, Liv Morgan came out, to basically talk trash before Crown Jewel. And then Rhea comes out. And Liv was with Dom and Raquel. Rhea comes out. Raquel and Rhea go right at it. Rhea handles Raquel very easily, which I think is very weird. Um, because like, okay, you bring her back to be like Liv's muscle, and then she just takes care of Rhea pretty easily. And then she just like Rhea takes care of her very easily. It's just like you could just have her lay her out, like Raquel just layers her out again, because that would like, I don't know, they really want to make Rhea seem like a monster, but I think it's kind of getting in the way of the storyline. Like, okay, she can look weak sometimes. It's not bad. Like, okay, Raquel layered her out at Bad Blood. Just, do it again, and then have Rhea build herself back up. They have a match. I don't know. Like the fact that Raquel cost her the match at Bad Blood, and then the next time they come blow to blow, she takes care of her like it's nothing. It's just like, I don't know. But essentially, what happened is that Naomi and Nia had a match. Liv got involved, cost Nia the match, and Naomi got a pin on her. So essentially, that means Naomi is next up for the title. But I do like, even though I have my problems with it, I do like that they're intertwining the feuds. That's what I'm trying to get at. I like that all, like, they have their own separate feuds, and then the champions also have a feud with one another. Like, I like that. I think that will work out very well. We'll just have to see where that goes. Hopefully they can improve some of the, cracks in it, like Rhea just being presented way too strong in my opinion. I think they need to kind of like ease that back if you want to make Raquel look like essentially the Diesel to Liv Morgan, Shawn Michaels with the two dudes of attitude. Like you should make Raquel look strong in that case. Like you should make it like, oh, Rhea's got to really look out for Raquel because she could cost her the match because of how powerful she is. But if you have Rhea take care of her in 10 seconds, she doesn't look powerful at all. I don't know. It just gets under my skin a bit. But I don't know. We'll see how they present the Gunther Cody feud. Gunther was obviously more uh, enthralled with like the Sami Zayn match, so he didn't really like. We don't really have an understanding of how he's gonna care. Like maybe there's gonna be a next contender for him, and they'll do the same thing. I don't know. It seems like they're getting Cody away from a feud with KO, and it's just gonna be KO and Randy. So yeah, I think there's gonna be more of a focus on just Gunther and Cody feuding with one another than them having like contenders for the titles outside of that. Um, and that's really it when it comes to like what's been going on. What time are we at? I might just have to save it for later. There was something I wanted to talk about. It wasn't something like that came out recently, like no news shit or anything. It was mostly just me kind of fantasy booking John Cena's return because I've been thinking about that recently. But I think I might just make that its own video. Maybe we'll see. Maybe if I, maybe if there's like a light news week, maybe I'll do that because I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think this is just where I'll end it here in terms of the fruit basket, and I'll see y'all later.